pattern for the last 2 years or so. Once these girls they say my fiance, it's a wrap on anything that the dude does is stupid, any kind of abuse, any. I got a new computer, and so I had to go through the whole setup process on this one, which I didn't think of, so that's why I'm late. Because I thought I was gonna just carry the settings over from the platform, and that's not the case. I guess it's stored on the computer, which I just learned. So now I have a new computer with, like, a whole bunch of more RAM, and it's fast as heck, and it's just really good, so we shouldn't have any problems with uh, a little bright there. Any problems with, flickering and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that all works out. So let's see. Okay. I don't know what that was all about, but I'm glad it worked. So here I am. I guess I'll figure everything out so I get rid of these problems for the next round. So what we're gonna do, I had a lot of letters left from. It's good to see you, Shay. We missed you. Oh, I had a lot of letters left from what you call it, Maydays. Plus, we have some new ones. So we're gonna do the new ones first. Yes, I'm ready now. I'm ready. Let's get started with this. This is the weekly relationship advice show. People send their questions in advance. If you want to send in a question, scan that QR code that's up on the screen. What? Oh, wait. Pray do tell. We have to hear all the tea. Who is this man that just captured our Shane's heart? He must be something special. And I don't mean in quotes special. I mean like real special. Good for you, girl. That's good that Shay done fell in love. I was married now. Oh, that is so nice to hear. Well, I'll have to get you a present. We'll have to have a conversation. See what kind of stuff what you need to get you some little naughty lingerie. What they call it, lingerie. Get you some lingerie. We'll talk. So I like to give wedding presents, so that'll be nice. Are you registered anywhere? If you registered, send me the link. Then I'll just go on there because I know everybody's using that website. What's it called? The Knot. Everybody's using that site called The Knot. And they make a list of stuff. And you used to have to go do it at a store. Now you just do it online and people just, click and pay and then they send the present to the person's house. I'm like, wow, whoever thought of this is brilliant. They're a bazillionaire now. Just unbelievable. So anyway, let me stop running my mouth and get talking about these questions. So let's see. Question number 1. This is a young lady, 28 to 34, from Columbus, Ohio. Okay, good. She had says the summary issue is, I have a 9-year relationship, but I've been financially supporting my boyfriend and I'm burnt out. My boyfriend and I have been together for 9 years. We got together when I was 21 and he was 20, and I'm 30 now. For context, I've been paying almost all of our bills for years. Rent, utilities, the phone bill, groceries, household stuff, basically everything. About 1 or 2 years ago, he quit his job even after I told him how much pressure it would put on me and how negatively it would affect our relationship. Since then, he's mostly done gig work here and there, but it's inconsistent and nowhere near enough to truly help carry the household financially. The issue is I feel completely burnt out and resentful now. Yeah, she done run out of sugar. I've basically been carrying 2 adults financially for almost 4 years, and it's taken a huge toll on my mental health. I feel like I've lost every soft/feminine part of myself because I'm constantly stressed, budgeting, surviving, and trying to make sure everything stays afloat. Meanwhile, he still wants nook constantly, affection, quality time, etc. And honestly, I'm mentally exhausted and irritated most of the time. We argue a lot because I feel like I'm sacrificing my own life and happiness while he's comfortable existing like this. I've also feel like I've spent years shrinking my life because we can't afford things. I've skipped trips, experiences, and opportunities because I feel guilty going without him. Now I'm at a point where I want more for myself and I want to actually live my life. Part of me feels terrible because we've been together for so long, but another part of me feels like he's only still here because he has nowhere else to go. If you were in this position, how would you honestly view this situation? That you taking care of a leech? Is this something that can realistically come back after years of resentment? Or does it sound like a relationship that's already emotionally over? Well, I think it's over. I mean, you might still have some hope. I mean, for me, it would be over a long time ago, way before 9 years. But, you might feel like, if he stepped up at some point and really started taking care of business and kicked you down some cash to help compensate you for the money that you spent, you might be okay with that. You might help you get over it. So I can't really say, you know what I mean? I don't really know you, but it's going to be one of them 2 things. And then she says, ladies, have you ever loved someone deeply, but realized that the life you were building with them was making you unhappy? What did you do? What can I do? At some point, you live in the sunk cost fallacy. You feel like because I sunk all this time into this man in this relationship that now I have to stay here to get a benefit. That's why I think you stayed 9 years. You were just waiting for the payoff to come, hoping that year after year after year after year, that it was going to magically morph into something different. And the bottom line is, this is who he is. He's very comfortable, as you pointed out, with you taking care of him like he's two. So if you don't want to do that anymore, what you're gonna have to do is find the courage to tell him, I can't do this anymore. I've lost respect for you. I don't want uh, you to stay here. I want you to find a place and I want you to get out. Go stay with a friend or your parents or somebody. I want you out of here. And you're probably gonna have to give him you gotta give him an eviction notice since he lives there. But that's what you're going to have to do. I'm sorry. Question number 2, this is a female, 22 to 27, from Sacramento, California, summary of issue. 4 years together, but still no real title. For reference, I'm a 27-year-old female who has been involved with a 35-year-old man. He's an engineer with a PhD for the past 4 years. For context, the situation did not begin traditionally. He was in a relationship when we met, but told me that they had an agreement. Apparently not, though, because she ended up leaving him after seeing that I was sticking around. He courted me hard from the beginning, and I, in turn, fell hard. I'm a giver, so I'd often even meal prep for him and just do small things to make his life easier. He was very open about his non-committal ways and would sometimes invite women over, while I was there, to flirt, etc. And then when he wouldn't text me or would disappear over the night, I'd obviously know what was going on. For a while, I also would entertain other men, and then somehow we became more enmeshed, especially this past year. Why this past year? Well, he began having severe mental health issues to the point of requiring a rehab center after withdrawals from benzos and alcohol. He has been completely sober from benzos for a year and is now on treatment with anti-anxiety medication and seeing a psychiatrist. His dad committed suicide years ago, and I think a lot of his issues were from that. Anyway, through this, he has leaned on me the most. For the first time during his struggle, I finally met his family, including his mom and siblings. I was at his Christmas family dinner, birthdays, etc. However, when he started feeling a little better, I noticed he was still entertaining other women. And recently I found a comment he left on the girl's picture saying, "The girl to the left of you is hot." Wow. There's no other girl in the picture, so clearly he meant her. So then she's going on and on. And she's a 4th-year psych student. So she says, helping him feels like part of my calling. Wow. Lately, he's been needing to stay at his mom's house again as he has relapsed a bit mentally and is still unable to work. He still has a home he owns and luckily is able to day trade for income, but my problem is deeper. Recently, I asked him when he feels better where he sees us. I'm trying to figure out why you want to be with somebody who's crazy and who doesn't want to commit to you and wants to see other women. I mean, all in all, that's 3 strikes you out. Plus, he don't work, so that doesn't mean he has no money. So that's 4 strikes. Recently, I asked him when he feels, his answer was, I don't know. I'm just trying to get my life back right now, he says. She says, this bum burned me to the core. My family already dislikes him, but I've tried to stick it out. Okay, that he tells his friend that he and I in a relationship. I think we are incredibly codependent on each other. When I try to leave, he freaks out and tells me how much he cares about me, yet nothing fundamentally changes. We also have a very sparse nook life, although I sleep in a bed with him most nights, and I'm afraid he's getting it elsewhere. Any advice would be amazing. Should I wait it out? Okay, please explain to me what it is that you would be waiting for. He hasn't made you any promises. He's made no commitments. There's no discussion about a future with you. There's no investment in you of time or money. There's no investment in any kind of relationship with you. I mean, what would you be waiting for? I'm curious. I'm trying to figure out how your brain is analyzing this situation. What you thinking is happening here that I don't see happening? I'm curious. Maybe you can follow up and write me back and share your thoughts because I don't understand what you would be waiting for. And I've often said now, people out there who are Therapists who don't fit this category don't get a bee in your bonnet. But I'm telling you, the majority of the people that I've run across who take up, they're going to go into the mental health field need the most couch time. They all crazy as hell. They have something wrong with them. Their screws are loose. They're real confused about stuff. And yet they want to put themselves in a position as a therapist trying to allegedly help other people. And they need the most help themselves. That's what I see. I'd say it's like 9 out of 10 of the therapists that I've met in my life or heard about like this, they need to they need the most longest, deepest therapy, but they're trying to figure out how they're gonna help somebody else. I need you to find another career because you are useless as a therapist. You don't have that. That's not your skill set. You might be good at studying, but the basic concepts of people, making smarter choices and choosing things that are for their own best interest in their mental and emotional health and self-esteem and things like that. You can't even do that for yourself. So how are you supposed to be helping somebody else do it? I just really don't understand. I don't understand. I just don't understand. Yeah, it is struggle love. It's something deep going on here. This poor child. Woo! Question number 3. This young lady's 35 to 42 age group from Elgin, Illinois. Some issue. Her boyfriend is obsessed with farts. Okay. Okay. Deb, this is not my question, but I found it online surfing around with my teenage daughter, and we thought you'd get a big kick out of it. We are interested in hearing your answer, though. So here's the letter. She starts to put some quotes in there. I learned accidentally a couple of months ago that my boyfriend, he's 22 and I'm 23, has a fart/burp fetish. He doesn't care for the smell, only the sound and vibration from them. And she put that part in quotes. He says it started with the live action Scooby-Doo film. This has to be a troll letter. I feel uncomfortable to fart around him and try to leave the room when I can. Whenever I do a quote good fart, as he says, he gets aroused and he lets me know. I think that is gross and it makes me uncomfortable. And I have let him know this many, many times. Yeah, but you're still there. So tonight he fell asleep early. We lived together and I grabbed his phone to set an alarm for work like I usually do. I opened the phone and right there is a big booty woman farting in someone's face. uh, Apparently, he is a part of a Discord group relating to farts. He put a question mark. I am disappointed and disgusted with him, but I do truly love this man with all my heart. Okay. Remind me never to go on Discord. I have told him to suppress his feelings on farts and to quit looking it up. I honestly thought he quit looking up that stuff until tonight. What should I do? Well, what do you guys think she should do? I personally think you only have 2 choices. Either you know what they call it, you either, uh, beat them or join them. So in your case, you would have to leave him or join him. So you're gonna have to either grow some kind of tolerance for this and participate in it, just join in with them, have farting contests or something and, see whose fart can be heard the furthest away. I don't know. I don't know. My brothers used to do that, but they were like, 7 or 8 years old when they were doing stuff like that. And then my father would join in and then they would have like, they would do poses while they fart. And this is a true story. They would they would strike poses while they were farting. And, they were just the boys. I mean, they just got a big kick out of it. They just would be laughing like that was the best thing ever. And me and my mother would be looking at them like, y'all is stupid. But yeah, my daddy was like, he could go down the side, he'd be walking, just, regular walking. And then all of a sudden he would strike like the Heisman pose, with the leg up and stuff like he had a football on his arm and just let one rip. And my brothers would hit the ground laughing, or he would jump up in the air like he was doing an air guitar and fart on the way down. Or, I mean, just he had all these things that just my brothers just thought it was the most entertaining thing in the world. I mean, it was funny when I was little, but then as I got older, it was like embarrassing. Like, I have 3 idiots in the house that like to fart. It's so stupid. But yeah, I don't even know what to tell you. Oh, but yeah, my daddy, oh, he was weird. My brothers were strange, and your boyfriend takes the cake. 'Cause they were just doing it for fun, but your boyfriend gets excited. He wanna get busy after he farts and stuff. I I can't. Question number 4. I need to move on from this with quickness. She's 49 to 54 age group out of the UK. So an issue, my partner wants me to sleep with other men. Oh, okay. I've expressed no interest in sleeping around, and I'm perfectly happy with him. We've been together for nearly 20 years. I'm in my mid 50s, he's early 60s, and have regular fun and interesting nook life. He has ED, which we worked through together with the help of Viagra, so that isn't an issue, and at no point have I said it is one. I'm postmenopausal, and while I'm confident in my skin and still enjoy intimacy, I really have no urge to get involved with anyone new. Increasingly regularly, he suggested that I can sleep with other men, quote, if I want. He says he gets off on the idea. A threesome would make more sense to me, although it isn't something that we've done, but I just don't understand why he'd want me to go off and do that. However hard I try to think about it rationally, I cannot come up with anything because it isn't rational. Like a lot of women, I just can't shag someone without becoming close to them. Any insight into why he's suggesting this? I've asked if it's because he wants to do the same, but he says he has no interest in that and he just wants me to enjoy myself. But I do with him. Everything else about our relationship is lovely, more so I suspect because we don't live together and only see each other a couple of days a week. Oh, okay. When he makes these suggestions, it makes me feel as though he thinks our intimate times are unimportant. When I put this to him, he says I'm being silly, and it doesn't mean that at all. Any insights? I really don't want to. I don't know what LTB stands for because everything else about our relationship is great. Well, I can share you my personal opinion about men who like to do this stuff. They have a gay side. And so they're living vicariously through the experience by watching you do it. And then sometimes, they supposed to be so excited that they start, joining in and doing things to the guy. That's what heard rather. And so my own personal opinion, I'm not saying this is a scientific fact, that any man who would propose such a thing to his partner, wife, girlfriend, whatever, number 1, does not respect her. He just sees her as an ends to a means for his entertainment and his freak off. Number 2, he really wants to get with the dude, but he's too scared to do it. So he couches it with you doing it so he can watch and pretend that he's you and the dude is doing him. Now, there will be people that disagree with me, and guess what? I don't care. Because there's no reason in this world why a man who really was in love with a woman and really wanted to be intimate with her in a mental, spiritual, physical, and emotional way would think of some dumb shit like that to do. This kind of stuff, bringing in other people, it dissolves and dilutes the intimacy between the couple. It confuses everybody, it causes problems, and ultimately it will cause a breakup. So, but like, it comes into that circle where, they don't respect you and they don't respect the relationship. So they don't really care if they lose it because you're not there for that. You're there for them to get their freaky jollies off with. So you think about what I'm saying here. You've been in this relationship for a long time. It could be that it just run its course. You in your 50s, I mean, you still got some good years left. You better make use of them and get rid of that fool. Get you a dude about 39, 40 and make the magic happen. Because this would, just telling you just personally, this would upset me. This would disturb me because I wouldn't trust him anymore. I'd be like, okay, what kind of freak shit are you thinking of? And what happened to the relationship that we was building here? You just toss it out because you want to do some, you know, weird X-rated popcorn website stuff. And you think that I'm supposed to be a tool for that for your entertainment. No, get out. That would be my approach to it. Because I already know what this means. So you don't understand what it means, and so you're actually trying to make sense of it and being thinking it through and all this kind of stuff. You don't even have to waste your time. Just get rid of them. Tell them you take your freak shit and your Viagra and get the fuck out of here. That's what you do. Don't ever call me again. Forget you know me. Lose my number. That's what you need to tell dude. Woo! Question number 5. This is a female 42 to 49 out of the UK. Some issue. How can I accept emotionally distant parents and finally move on? How do I move on? All of my life, I've wished and hoped my parents will change and become more emotionally available to help me financially, but they will not. All the while believing us to be a close family when the entire thing is one big act and a colossal dysfunctional mess. Wow, colossal. I haven't seen that word in a long time. At 45 years of age, I have had enough of the pretense, the pandering, the false acceptance, the charade, and the ridiculousness of it all. I am disabled. My husband's job is at risk. Our house is falling down around our ears and needs urgent work. And I lay awake at night fretting about our retirement and about the well being of our young adult daughter. We have not been on a holiday for 5 years. They go on lavish holidays 3 months of the year. They have no mortgage for 25 years. They had thousands in deposits and final salary pensions. My sister's still renting at nearly age 50 with a family to support. I question why they ever had children if they were never going to be there for us. I recall my mother once saying that once children were 18, they were on their own. Neither myself or my sister would dream of abandoning our children from 18 onwards. My mother in particular is so mean and stingy. Why have I allowed the wool to be pulled over my eyes for so long? I am so angry and upset. I need to work up the courage to finally cut them off, but a lifetime of being gaslit, surely they're not that bad, people say. They're lovely people. And people-pleasing tendencies has meant I keep hanging on, praying and hoping that they will become different characters. As children, they did the bare minimum that's expected as parents. As adults, they just leave us to get on with it. And then when they've been out to dinner or preparing for another holiday or renovating their garden, we are expected to coo and appease and show interest. My father did not even know what my career was before I became disabled. It is frankly ridiculous when it's all written down now that I'm reading it. How can they be so uncaring? I am done with being sad. I just need to find a way to come to terms with all of this. Can you or anyone watching help me, please? Well, I don't know if I'm going to really be that much of a help. I can just tell you my philosophy on this. And it's something that I shared with my daughter too when she was looking for me to be she was looking for me to be different. She was looking for me to be a different kind of mom. And I'll share that story with you in a minute. But the bottom line is, you wanted your parents to be different people. They can't be different people. They can only be who than what they are. And the problem is, though, you haven't accepted that, though. You're an adult now. What did you say, 40-something years old, and you still wishing on a star that they gonna morph into somebody else that other than who and what they are. And, you can't really love anybody until you accept them as they are. You might not like everything about them. I'm not saying you have to. You have to brush it under the rug or pretend it doesn't exist. But one thing that you do have to do in order to truly love someone is to accept everything there is about them, good and bad. Yeah, they're gonna get on your nerves. You're gonna want to punch their lights out sometimes, throw them off into the BART train or something. You have all kind of visions of things that you would like to do, but will you actually do it? No. But it helps relieve stress, and then you can laugh about it later and say, you made me so mad today. I had a vision in my mind of me drop kicking you under the BART train. And they'll be like, well, damn, was it that serious? And you can say, yeah, it was for about 5 minutes, but I got over it. And then y'all go on laughing, go on with your lives. You know what I mean? But if you have that kind of relationship where you can talk about that kind of stuff, that helps too. You have to be able to fully express all of your emotions, the good ones and the negative ones. And it doesn't sound like you and your sister really did that with your parents. You follow the script instead of follow their script instead of following your own. And it takes time. I'm not saying it's the kind of thing that happens instantly, but there comes a point when you as an adult have to accept the fact that you can't change anyone but yourself, and most people have trouble doing that. That's why they can't stay on a fitness plan, they can't stay on a diet, they drink too much, they can't stop smoking, all the kinds of people don't even control themselves, yet they think they would magically have the power to control what somebody else does. I never understood that. But my little story was like my daughter, I sat in this little school, right? This little parochial school. And every year they would do this, they would do fundraisers, cupcake sales, that kind of stuff. And then one time they was going to do a pizza party. It's going to sell pizzas. So the moms formed this committee and they was all going to get together and make pizza. Well, Deb wasn't going to make no goddamn pizza. That's not me. Okay, so I told them, well, I'm looking at my income. That's when I was working as a trainer. So if I miss an hour of work to go make free pizzas, I'm losing out, on $50 to $200 because it depends. If it was a group that I was training, that's, $200 just for that 1 hour. So training can be very lucrative if you're really good at it and you know how to sell yourself. So I'm looking at the money I would lose versus, supporting the cause. I said, well, I can't really make it, but I'll give y'all some money. How much is a good amount to give? They said, oh, about $30. I gave them 50. And then I was done with it. Okay, I'm on about my business. I'm not doing nothing with no pizza. I don't want to look at no pizza. If I want a pizza, I'll go get it from Cybel's or something over here in Oakland and I'll get the pizza. So my daughter was upset. She was really upset. I mean, like super upset. She was about 10 at this time. And she called herself mommy. All the other mothers were there. Why weren't you there? Why don't you ever want to go and do the things that the other mothers do? And I sat her down. I said, well, let's talk about that. Because, I like to use logic with kids, especially when I know they got good sense. I said, okay, so let's talk about what the other parents do. How many of your school friends have been on 3 cruises like you? She's sitting there, none. I said, okay. How many of your friends been to Jamaica for 2 weeks? And on all this, things, gone to good down the river falls and done all these wonderful, fun things. Who's done that? Which of your friends have done that? Nobody. Which of your friends has gone skiing to Denver? You don't know how to ski, but you got to play in the snow and learn how to ski. Which of your friends have done that? None of them. So I just rattled off a whole bunch of things, right? Because between her and my brother and my mother, she was like the adventure child. She got to go everywhere and do everything. Okay, so I'm like, okay, so you want to trade all of those things that your mother has brought to your life for somebody to make pizza. And I want you to understand that, women are different. Mothers are different. I'm not the pizza cake kind of mother, but I will take you on an adventure anywhere in this world. What I will not do is stand around making pizza. So you choose which one do you want? Because I'm not the pizza mama. I might make some cupcakes if you catch me on a good day, but I'm definitely not gonna stand there making pizza for 2 hours. I'm not gonna do that. So you have to decide if you're gonna be happy with the mother that you have or not. And then I was done with the conversation. I didn't need to yell at her. There's no punishments or nothing involved. It was a completely logical explanation so she could understand and weigh the difference in what experiences I brought to her life with my attitude and the mother that she had versus being the, quote, traditional mama that would stand around making pizzas all damn afternoon. Oh, no, that ain't me. So, we gradually arrived at a consensus there. So now, she understood after that what she got. The next time we got ready to go somewhere, I'm like, okay, let's go. We're going to drive down to San Diego and we're going to stay down there for 2 weeks. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. And she was like, oh, okay. For the moment, it wasn't really a plan. I just called my clients. I'm going to take a couple of days off, y'all. Do the workout plan. I'm going to email you and I'll see when I get back. And then I got in the car. I rented a little SUV because my regular car, I wanted us to be comfortable. I rented an SUV, threw all the shit in the back and we drove off. And that was that. So that's the kind of lifestyle that my child lived with me. But she did not have a mama that made pizzas. And there you go. So you have to, accept that about your parents. They're going to be who they are. They can't be who you want them to be. So you accept that and start making other arrangements to live your life like a big girl. We check around the social services and see what kind of you disabled, what kind of services and support systems are available to you through community-based organizations or governmental agencies or even private foundations. You look around and you put some work in and you'll get the support that you need, but you just have to put out some feelers. It's there. You just have to find it. Question number 6. This is a female, 28 to 34 from Edmonton, Canada. Summary of issue. What type of counselor could help me manage difficult male relatives? My husband has suggested that I have some counseling, and he is saying this. Believe me, I must need it. I'm exhausted, frazzled, and beaten down by the men in my blood family. I'm the last blood female. My mom, all my aunts, cousins, and grandparents are all gone, and I'm just worn down by them. I'm talking about the ones who are divorced or widowed. Since they have no wife to soak up their behavior, they default to me, and believe me, their behavior is awful. People have told me not to just not listen, ignore them, etc., but it's not that simple. I want to, but I'm finding it hard. It is that simple. You just finding it hard, making excuses. Someone once told me that they, quote, mither me to death. I don't know what a mither is. That's the thing. We keep running into these things from other countries. They use these terms. I don't understand what they're talking about. And I think this is a good description. I have always thought deep down that men in my family have had a major hand in the deaths of my female relatives, as in they were treated very badly. And I am really scared that I'm going to end up the same way. I thought this is an irrational thing to say, but my husband actually agrees. I would like to go for some counseling to help me navigate my relationship with blood family, whether they be coping techniques or helping me to go no contact with them because they are affecting my mental health and my relationship with my husband and my daughter. To avoid picking the wrong kind of counselor, can you tell me what kind I should be looking for? No. I mean, it might be helpful to have a woman, but then maybe not, because like I said, too many of the ones I done come across, they need a counselor themselves. Um, I would suggest that you find a male therapist. Why? Because men understand other men. And men understand that, the games and stuff that these guys are playing, you have to be more informative than you were in this letter. You have to tell them exactly what the guys are doing so he can give you play-by-play, techniques to counter them. But the bottom line is no matter what the counselor tells you, if you don't have the self-esteem and the spine to carry it off and execute the plan, then it's just waste of money. That's the real thing. You have to learn how to speak up and defend yourself. You have to learn to say no. Fuck out of here. Hell, get the hell off my phone. Stay away from my house. I don't want to be bothered with you and your drama. Stuff like that. So you're a grown ass man. Handle it yourself. Get off my phone. You have to talk to them like that, and you don't do that. So they feel, you just let them come and just use you up, and then you think a counselor's gonna come and swoop in with a cape and save you. No, they're gonna tell you what you need to do, but you still have to do it. And I think, it sounds like you just not gonna have the strength to make it happen. I don't have that confidence judging by you. It's harder than it seems. I just can't do it. Those are excuses, madam. Question 7. This is a young man, 22 to 27 from Tucson, Arizona. Summary of issue. Was I wrong for canceling a movie plans because my friend invited his girlfriend at the last minute and changed everything? This is something that happens frequently with this guy, but here's some context. My friend has been dating a girl who's very controlling and needy, and she's very intrusive. She has to be with him 24/7 or else she goes crazy. My friend and I made plans to see a movie this evening and had this plan for a week. I was really looking forward to it. He calls me last minute. It's like, oh, by the way, my girlfriend is coming also, just so you know. And yes, I get it. At first, this didn't seem so bad, but this happens all the time. Now we have to reschedule the time because of her, plus cancel the plans we had after because of her. And every time I try to see my friend at the last minute, this chick pops up and derails everything. He sees her 7 days a week. And now they are both mad at me for canceling the movie and telling them to go without me. I'm tired of being forced to third wheel every time I hang out with this guy and being around a girl who has every single self-diagnosed illness in the world and is always offended by something. Was I wrong? Should I have just sucked it up? Nope. What you didn't do though was tell them why. See, you holding it in. You just, pouting and say, well, you guys just go by yourselves. That's not full communication. You're doing like the people I watch. I like these like foreign dramas, like the Chinese and Korean ones and stuff I'll be watching. And what drives me crazy for the most part is people, they don't fully communicate. They hint around and they say part of it. And so it leads people to assume a lot. And of course, they assume wrong. And it creates all these problems when if they had just sat down and clearly stated all the facts, full disclosure, and answered all the person's questions, clarified things like, just straight, then the problems that they suffered for months, sometimes or years, would never have happened. So that's what's happened with you. All you had to do is say, look, dude, to both of them. It's like, I want my friendship is with you, not with her. She's with you, but you want you every time I see you, here she is. Do you know how irritating that is to me? This bitch cannot let you out of her sight for 15 seconds. It's driving me crazy. So rather than be looking at her and you take her and you look at her. I don't want to be bothered. I'm not going to be part of a threesome with you and this crazy bitch who gets offended about every damn thing and is a hypochondriac. I don't want to be bothered. I'm glad you like her. I'm glad you happy. But when I'm around her, I'm not. So we're going to resolve this problem. Y'all stay over there and I'll stay over here. And, if I see you when you break up with her or you decide you going to have a friendship with me, then you reach out. Other than that, just lose my number. And that's what you needed to do with him. He needs a reality check. He hasn't realized what he's losing. And right now, he's trying to have the best of both worlds, dragging her ass around with him. Nobody want to look at her. And that's what you haven't told him that. So he doesn't really know why you didn't want to go to the movies. And so you weren't doing full disclosure. Like I said, you're creating problems by not communicating. Acting like a little petulant child, throwing a tantrum. Stop it. Grown ass man. Use your words. Question 8. This is a female, 50 to 56 from Kansas City, Missouri. Some issue. I decided to have a baby even though my 2 daughters begged me not to. I'm 50 years old. Wait, what? Divorce. You want to have a baby at 50? Have you lost your mind? Okay. I'm 50 years old, divorced, and I have 2 daughters. The oldest is 25 and she already lives on her own. The young one is 17 and she still lives with me. I raised my children by myself and always provided them with a comfortable life. But a few months ago, I found out I was pregnant. To say I was shocked is an understatement. I know that's right. I am 50, unmarried, and pregnancy was the last thing I could expect. After a lot of thinking, consulting with doctors, and talking with the child's father, I decided that I wanted to keep this pregnancy. The problem is that both of my daughters are categorically against it. They said that giving birth at my age is shameful. Yeah, because at that age, kids assume that their parents are too old to be having nookie. So the fact that, pregnancy is evidence of someone having nookie. And so they're like embarrassed. It's like, oh my God, my mother's ancient and she's having a sex life. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. That's what that is. So they say it is shameful that people judge me for being an unmarried woman expecting a child at 50. My older daughter even stated that this would be a disgrace to our family. And the younger one constantly repeats that I'm ruining everyone's lives. Part of their worries is related to finances. I have always paid for practically everything. I explained that I will continue to support them, but some things might change. For example, I suggested to my younger daughter to find a part-time job for the summer if she wants to have her own money instead of completely relying on me. She really didn't like this. Too damn bad. She's 17, almost 18 years old. She needs to have a job. That's ridiculous. Also, my daughters do not approve of the future child's father because he is a few years younger than me. He supports me, participates in everything related to the pregnancy, and wants this child just as much as I do. But my daughters insist that this whole situation looks ridiculous. Tell them when you want their opinion that you'll ask for it. Because their opinion ain't paying none of your bills. I mean, I would be just rude. They are grown. Well, the 17 one's not grown, but she's just about grown. The other one's grown and out the house. She don't have an opinion about what you do. And I would let her know that too. It's like, shut up. You got everything out of me that you wanted. You're on your own now. Shut up. What anything I do now don't have nothing to do with you. Nobody's asking you for shit. So don't your opinion, including your opinion. That's what she would have got from me. So she writes that the most painful part for me was when they said that if I gave birth, they would never consider this child their brother or sister. Wow. Okay, that's fine. They say that they do not want to have any relationship with it, and that I am allegedly choosing a new family over them. I understand that this pregnancy affects them to some extent. I also realize that having a child at my age is not a completely normal situation. But in the end, it is my child. I don't feel that I should give up a wanted pregnancy just because my adult children do not approve. But my daughters are very angry. They say I'm acting selfishly and I'm worried about their emotional state. What would you suggest? That you sit them down and tell them that you don't give a fuck? Because this is the kind of thing where they're trying to emotionally blackmail you. They're trying to guilt trip you and saying that, you're choosing this over us. Where did you do that? Where did you do that? What they're afraid of is the cushy life that you give them where you spoil them rotten. It's because you got a 17-year-old who's never had a part-time job. Where in the world does that even happen? Kids be out here working at 15, and you've had your lazy ass daughter sitting on her ass around the house with her hands stuck out at 17? Lady, you really did your daughters a disservice to think that they're supposed to be living off of you like that. Okay, parents are there to help their children be raised with independence and to teach them how to have the skills to be an adult and live on their own and be successful on their own. You don't sound like you did that until, they're getting it all at once. And the excuse that you're using is this baby. That's why they're mad. But everything that you're doing as far as, forcing them to be independent is stuff you should have done years ago, many years ago. So it's, you're going to have to just sit them down and say, I listened to everything that you had to say. And I want to tell you right now, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do what I want to do because I'm a grown. It's my house. It's my money. It's my body. And it's my relationship. It don't have shit to do with you. If you want some money other than what I have, to do to support you until you become an adult, then do it. But the gravy train ends here. This is something I should have done a long time ago. I'm sorry I'm late. But you're going to go out and you're going to make some extra money. I'll continue to give you your allowance as I usually do. But any extras, you're going to have to earn the money for it, just like you would as a grown-up. For the 25-year-old, don't ask me for shit. If you want something else, get a second job, get your boyfriend to get it to you. Whatever you're going to do, I don't know what you get the bank for a loan. Make the magic happen. These are things I should have done a long time ago. I must apologize for being a miss and spoiling you, but I'm trying to rectify that situation now. Y'all need to be independent. You're grown women. Make it happen. And then I would get up and go in my room and slam the door. You spoiled them. So that's why you got to lay down the law. But basically, you got to let them know, I really don't give a shit what you say. I mean, I just told you just so you would know. Wouldn't be surprised when you saw my belly getting big. But as far as, you having an opinion, you having any influence, any kind of impact on this decision, that ain't you. You don't have that. So shut up. You want to talk about it, you talk about it with each other. Don't talk about it with me because I'll toss you about this house. But I do that absolutely because they doing too much. They're being disrespectful. And it's one thing to have an opinion, but you don't have no right to disrespect your parents ever at all. I never did it. I just didn't talk to my mother when I felt like I was at that age, with that stage of, we was at that stage. I just shut down communication because I would rather do that and not talk to her at all than ever disrespect her. That's my mother. I would never do that to her. So, you got two daughters talking to you all kind of crazy and you just sitting there taking it. So this young man is question 9. He's 28 to 34 from Washington, D.C. Summary issue. Do women not want to be approached? No, we do not. I totally understand if people are rude, weird, or arrogant. Then someone might reject that type of person. But I've had multiple friends who have tried striking up conversations with women while downtown at night. And the majority of them have been super cold. Okay, at night. My friend would ask things like, how's your night going? Maybe to a group of ladies or to a single person. And majority of them don't even respond or give an answer that could possibly open more dialogue. My friends aren't choosing girls that look closed off either. They're purposely going for girls that seem receptive. And yes, I've never tried approaching a woman myself, but seeing all the failed attempts from my friends is discouraging. Are women just that tired of men nowadays? It's not women are tired of men, they're tired of you. Okay, let me rewind here. First of all, your letter reeks of entitlement. You feel like because you're not rude, weird, or arrogant, that you should not get rejected, and that if you approach a woman, that she should be responsive to you and not be cold to you, and should give you an answer that should open more dialogue. You notice the wording of your question is very entitled. I'm going to tell you this and you're not going to like it. No woman on this goddamn planet owes you shit. Okay? Not a smile, not a hello, not a what time is it, not an answer to your stupid ass questions, nothing. Okay? Especially when she's by herself. She's by herself and it's nighttime and you gonna walk up on her talking about how's your night going? Don't you know that's the same way Ted Bundy used to get women to get close to him? Once men get close to you, if they grab you, stab you, prick you with a needle, do all kind of put you in a chokehold, all this kind of stuff. Don't you know that women are live in terror most of the time? Just because you look normal, that doesn't mean shit. That means nothing. Most of the men that you see in the newspapers and online and stuff who, did off the woman that they met online or they was dating or something like that, they look perfectly normal too. That doesn't tell us anything. So you walking up thinking, well, I'm normal. So every crazy fuck in this world thinks they're normal. So, you asking women to risk their lives for your ego. That's what you're doing. This is ego here. It open more dialogue. She ain't trying to have a dialogue with you. Is that the part that y'all don't understand? Leave women alone on the streets. It's already terrorizing enough. I was just reading thing, and this happened in 2018 and 19 or something like that, where these little black girls got stabbed. But some crazy white dude followed them off the BART train at MacArthur BART. I remembered it, but I thought they were doing a story about it for some reason. Came back up. But I remembered that. He followed the three sisters off the train and stabbed two of them, and one of them died. The other one, I don't know what happened to her. But no reason. He didn't know these girls. He just decided on some crazy whim that he wanted to off these three black girls. So, that's what I'm talking about. And men, you guys don't consider that kind of stuff that happens to women all the time. They get abducted, they get, snatched into cars. And then on the East Coast, one of the popular things is, to throw full cans of drinks or bottles at girls. They just want to call you all kind of horrible names, touch you inappropriately. All kind of stuff happens to women in public street when men get too close to them. And you think that because you feel like you're a nice dude, that some woman should change rules for you. Fuck out of here. Hey, Ash. These dudes are just like so unrealistic. You can tell the ones that haven't been raised around any women. Are they around stupid women that don't talk to them and tell them nothing? You know what I mean? This is basic shit. You ought to already know this. Any man with any kind of sense reading what's the news online and stuff, stop looking at video games all the fucking time and keep yourself abreast of current events. And you would see the patterns of their lives being taken, them being maimed, them being abused by men that they thought loved them or men that they didn't think were going to be a threat to them. And then suddenly they are. And even complete strangers drugging their drinks in nightclubs and on dates and stuff. All kind of shit be happening to girls. And you all think because you want to talk to her and start a dialogue that she's supposed to be receptive. Fuck out of here. Okay? You lucky that they even go out with your stupid asses at all. You know what I mean? These girls are dying going on dates and y'all worried about somebody having a dialogue with you. That's the most you invest is a little microscopic piece of your ego. And she done invested her whole life in this shit. Or her mental health, at least. If something happens to her, she has to deal with it for the rest of her life. I am so not feeling your letter. Question number 10. This is a female 20 to 34 out of the UK. Summary of issue. I long to be courted, but the majority of men seem to want to progress the things as quickly as possible. Hey, ladies, I just recently understood what I'm missing in my dating life. When I start getting to know many or most men initially within 1 to 4 dates, they either want to kiss, invite me to their place, or move things quicker than I'm ready to, and I just feel rushed. So I end up leaving things. Yeah, that's what you have to do. I want to be able to get to know someone slowly without being rushed. No pressure into escalating things more quickly. And that patience somehow makes me want to also move towards them. I also keep getting this dynamic, and I wonder if the pace that I would like to have in all of this is rarer than I thought. Or are there men that get excited about the anticipation and actually savoring the process without aggressively skipping parts of it? I know this might be controversial or bring politics into what I do mean by attraction, that these men only want one thing or evil and so forth. But what I'm talking about is courting, a slow pace and patience in modern dating. Does that still exist? No. I mean, it does, but not really. A guy will do it, but they will do it because they don't really want to do it that way. They want to get to a girl and go on a date and sleep with her the first day. Then they want to move on to the next one. They want to have a relationship where they put a lot of emphasis on sex, and that's pretty much it. They don't really care about your emotional state. They're not trying to talk to you and be really, vulnerable and intimate like that with you. They just want to get their dick wet. That's pretty much it. And to me, that's what modern dating has dissolved to. That's all it is. When you have a boyfriend and girlfriend, that's all it is. It's just the one person you put a claim on, the one person you want to fuck all the time. That's pretty much it. Oh, I like this coochie. I like this dingaling. I'll stick with this one for a minute and call it my boyfriend and call it my girlfriend. That's all it is. So when you have a situation like this, you want to go so and you want them to court you, that should tell you that that guy's not looking for anything serious. He's not trying to get to know you. That's why they putting all that pressure on you. They want to advance things to the bedroom as quickly as possible because that's his goal. That's his primary interest in you. So if you're not going to do that, then what's the point? So, I mean, you do understand it in a sense, but you're framing it wrong. You're framing it like, oh, they don't want to court me. No, it's not that they don't want to court you. They don't want nothing from you but some ass. That's the part that you're going in the right direction, but you haven't gotten all the way down to the bottom yet. That's what it is. Especially you on these online dating sites. Them dudes ain't about shit. It's I mean, I do know, some women who have met some guys and, they dated them for seriously, got married, had kids, oh nine. But is that the norm? Is that the majority? No. Those are like needle and haystack lucky women. Real lucky. They just, two people who had the same mindset just happened to meet each other and everything clicked. So yeah, that especially I know I had some clients that used to be on the site for Jewish people called JSay. Jace, Jewish. I think it was called JSay. But anyway, they it was like a Jewish dating site. And they were like, oh, and they were so cute. Okay. They were my clients. I was a personal trainer. And so they here I am, black, my hair and twists and stuff. Ain't nothing about me looking Jewish. And so, but they just adored me so much. It was so cute. They're like, oh, my friends go on J Date. And that's what it was called, J Date. That's right. So they go on J Date. And, you should go up there and sign up for J Date. So I'm like, oh, I never heard of it. Right. So they didn't tell me that was all, like for Jewish people. So I go out and go home and I look it up on my computer and I was like, oh, Jewish dating. But, the fact that they thought that I should apply, should register there was really cute. Of course, I didn't do it, but I thought it was cute. They didn't, they just thought I was so adorable and wonderful that some guy, lucky guy on J Date would be happy to go out with me. And that could have been true, but I didn't have the courage to do it. I didn't. So they were like, oh, did you sign up? I'm like, no, I sure didn't. Yeah, that was so cute. Question number 11. This is a female, 18 to 21 from Nashville. Summary issue. How do I love myself and create a healthy self-esteem at a young age? Oh, I'm just a 19-year-old, 1 year out of high school trying to figure this out. I know I'm not alone in this. Any advice from you and other more mature women watching would be really appreciated. Just so you know, I was raised in foster care and bounced around quite a bit since the age of 11. So I think I have a lot of work to do. Thank you. Oh, that's hard. That's hard. Wait, what was her initial question? Hold on, let me see. How do I love myself and create a healthy self-esteem? Well, I'm gonna suggest, start looking at there's a lot of videos on the channel, like, you go to the channel top page, and in the search bar where it says, "Search this channel," type in self-esteem. Type it in a variety of ways, like space esteem, or self-esteem, like run together, or self-esteem, and so you can pull up all the ones, because I think I put them, made the title different. And then you should be able to pull up all of them and start looking there. That'll give you a lot of more specific tips than I can do right here. But the bottom line is, in every instance, where the young ladies mess up is they have a goal for themselves. They have a standard of behavior, a way they say they want to live their life, certain expectations of conduct and, honor, morals, values, that kind of stuff. And then they violate them or under pressure, because they want somebody to like them, because they think, oh, the guy says, well, he doesn't like that. Then so the girls change. You give up those boundaries. You give up those morals. You adjust those values. You toss all your dreams away. You change who you are in order to please someone else. That is a guaranteed ticket to low self-esteem. And you just on the greasy little slide down the hill to hell of your self-esteem on that one. Soon as you do anything like that. Because every time that you do something like that, you will like yourself a little bit less and a little bit yes, because you will feel bad about the fact that you did something that you know you didn't really want to do. You did it for a reason that you shouldn't have done. Yes, I think so too, Ash. Thank you. So it's that to me, that's kind of like the common denominator, but there are specific tips that I give you, specific exercises, specific behaviors that I tell you, okay, if you do this and you do this to counter it, that kind of thing. So watch the videos. I don't want to rehash all that because the hours worth of me talking right now, but that would be my recommendation for you. And then there's probably some good books and stuff out there, but I think if you start with the videos that I've done, that'll take you a long way to where you need to be. The main thing you need to understand is, people gonna always come at you with some bullshit. People gonna always come at you with some bullshit, and it's gonna sound good. It's gonna sound, it's like, oh, that sound fun. That sound interesting. Oh, he's so cute though. It's like, oh, but I love him though. Oh, but I want that. And then you think about the but. What is that gonna happen? What's gonna happen after that? That's the video, and then what? It's a 2-video series where I try to train people to think about the choices they make and the repercussions of those choices. Don't just go off doing stupid stuff because you in the moment and it's emotional and you making all these half-ass, stupid, ill thought out decisions. You making them based on emotions. Shit that you make on decisions you make using emotions are never good ones. They're never good ones because you disengage your brain completely. Well, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I just felt it. It just felt like the right thing to do. And that's how you get your ass in trouble. So watch those self-esteem videos and then make sure to watch the And Then What series so you can understand how to stay strong in your decisions and protect yourself. Because you think about what are some of the shit that people do. They're going to convince you to do some dumb shit. And you supposed to, before you do that, you go let that little thought bubble fly up there and you be like, and then what's going to happen? Okay, if I do that, then what? And please start doing that. And you'll make so much better decisions, much better choices, and choices that you'll be happy with. You'll be able to sleep at night, and you'll be able to look at yourself in the mirror in the morning proudly because you wouldn't have made a dumb duck decision. Okay? Oh, let me see what Honey Lamore made an interesting comment too. Let me put this on the screen. She said you have to be aware of the guys that like everything about you, then once in a relationship, he tries to change you. Yep. And she watching the, like I said, the videos on self-esteem and then what, you would at least question that before you, made a decision to follow whatever it is he's talking about. And they always try to do, especially like if dressing all sexy and stuff, and suddenly as soon as you become in a relationship, they don't want you to dress that way. The only time I think that becomes an issue is like when women have teenage sons. Because this happened to one of my relatives, her son was turning 14, he had a little birthday party. And she was, big chested. She went and put on some kind of little titty showing top. And 14, 13, and 14-year-old boys, they mean they get a boner if the wind blows too hard. So here's all his little friends in there looking at her chest all exposed with boners. You know how embarrassing that was for him? And it's not like they could help it. They're too young. They don't have that self-control yet. So I have to give him courage. He had enough courage to tell his mother, pull her aside and say, Mom, can you change clothes? Because it was causing problems. I knew what he was saying because, you just look and see what was going on. And she didn't have enough awareness to see what she was. I mean, I think she did it on purpose. She had this thing and she just wanted to be feeling sexy all the time. But, you have to think about your son. Look at how humiliated he is with you dressing like that in front of his friends. That's something you dress like that in front of your man. You know what I mean? You don't need to do that in front of a group of teenage boys you don't even know, especially your son's friends like that. Oh, it was so inappropriate. So other than that, though, I tell women, you do you. But I did learn from that experience is if you have teenage boys around, I really, other women's husbands and stuff like that, you need to tone that shit down a little bit because it causes problems, especially with the teenagers. Grown men, they can control themselves. Teenagers, they haven't arrived there yet. Just all these feelings and experiences are brand new to them. They barely know what's happening. But yeah, that was a sad, that was sad. I kind of felt sorry for her. She looked embarrassed afterwards, but she did change. Question number 12. This is a female, 20 to 34, from Louisville, Texas. Summary of issue: constantly bringing up an ex. I met a guy, I like him or not a lot, but he brings up his ex in every conversation. Am I stupid or is that a red flag? Honey, that's a whole parade of red flags. Because, dude, I always tell you ladies, men don't talk about nothing that they ain't thinking about. Thoughts words just don't appear out in your mouth by magic. You have to think of something first and then you talk about it. So he's sitting up there talking about his ex while he's on a date with you or talking on the phone with you. That means he's thinking about his ex. Why would you want to continue dealing with a dude who's sitting up there thinking about another woman while he's talking to you? Yeah, I know. I have to renumber some of these questions because these say like question number 67 and stuff like that because it's from leftover from May days. So this is question number for today, question number 13. This lady's in the 28 to 34 age group from Little Rock, Arkansas. Sorry, issue. My stepdaughter is wanting to move in with me and my husband, but he works evenings, so taking care of her will fall on me. I'm 28, my husband's 29, and we've been together for 5 years. For context, my stepdaughter is 12, and she has some pretty wacky behavior issues. She's a pathological liar, a manipulator, a school bully, and has even destroyed the wall in her room one time when she was sent to her room for lying to us. She lives with her mom and is currently in intensive therapy. She has been saying that she's going to come live with us. I guess this is a safe place to say I do not want that to happen. To make matters worse, my husband works evenings, so I would be the one at home with her after work, not him. I would essentially be raising his daughter for him at that point, not with him. I think if she didn't have these issues, I wouldn't mind, but she does, and I will not disrupt my peace for it. I've explained this to him, and I've told him that I will be sacrificing my after work time of relaxation and peace to be with her while he wakes up in the mornings for work. She will be at school after I've been the one to make sure that she gets there on time. He's trying to say that I knew he had kids when I married him, that we're supposed to be a team, etc. I explained to him time and time again that I will do it with him, not for him. That's not my daughter, and I will not be the only one that sees her during the week. He claims he's going to try and fix his work schedule to be more home in the evenings. And I told him that if she moves in and he doesn't, then he will really be screwed because he will be completely by himself. The worst part is we've been trying for our own kid and the opposite schedule would have been fine for that. I know it's a double standard, but again, it's the behavior issues that kill me. If she were different, I think I would feel different about it too, because he also has a son who is a total opposite. And if it were him wanting to move with us, I wouldn't care if he kept his current schedule and I was the only one home. Also, for context, I work in behavioral health and deal with bad behaved kids for a living, and I do not want to come home and have to deal with it here too. Anyway, we've come to a pretty big disagreement about this, and I'm standing 10 toes down that I will not be raising his daughter for him. He's mad because he thinks I'm not being a team player. Fuck him. This sucks because this is not this is the first big disagreement we've had like this. And like I said, now I have to reconsider having a child with him or even staying with him if this becomes a bigger issue. Any advice on how to approach this? No, you've done everything that I said, although, you need to make it clear. You need to understand she would be here, like maybe make a chart, because not I'm in a visual. So say, okay, the child would be here from these hours to these hours. And she goes to school from this time to this time. You're sleeping from this time to this time. I'm at work from this time to this time. And so, just put a chart of all the things and show him how it overlaps, how he'll be gone and you'll be the only one there with her. That means that you're doing it for him, not with him. And he needs to see that. That's what I'm saying. You need to make a visual because you're just using words. And that's not going to have the same impact as, and make the time that you would be with her by yourself red. All those signs are red zones. The times when he's with her by himself, those are the green zones. The times where you guys are there are together, could be the yellow zones. So you make a little chart showing a week of that and see what he says, all the hours that you would be dealing with her by yourself. So do it that way, okay? Show the dates across the top, 7 days of the week, and the times down the side, 24 hours. And then you start coloring them in. You can do it on Excel. So it'd be fast. You don't have to, draw it up by hand. Do it on Excel. Color them fields, fill them fields in with different colors, girl, and do what you need to do. Yeah. Yeah. Just thinking of, thinking about some other Shay. Shay says, I got some extras for you. I know that's right. I would not do that. Especially she's like destroying things and bullying kids and stuff. I'd have to go find me some bigger, badder kid to bully her back. That's how I do things. I like people, whether it's man or child, to experience what they try to make other people experience. So I would have to go find some kids and like, look, I'm going to take you all out to dinner and pay you a pizza party, give you $50. I want you to go to this little girl and I want you to bully her. Just like how she'd be bullying people at her school. This is what she do to them. I want you to do it to her. And just let them do it. Let them, the three of them, let them bully her little ass to half to death. So she can get a good idea of how it feels. Well, he's not a single father. The girl lives with his mother. He's not a single father. See, people have a single father or single mother is when the other parent is not there. Like if the daddy's in prison and you raising a kid, you a single mother. The father's dead and you raising a kid, you a single mother. If the father you're divorced, the father has visitation rights, the father comes and gets the kid, the father pays child support, you ain't a single mother. You share custody. You're the custodial parent, but you're not a single parent because you got help. You got financial assistance and somebody come and pick that little motherfucker up whenever they get a chance. So people use that term wrong. Okay, Dad, you ain't a single mama. You got somebody kicking down money and coming to pick the kid up, buying a birthday present, showing up for different things and stuff like that. You're not a single mother. Same thing on the other side. Like this girl, she got her mother. She's staying with the mama. She gets visitation with the daddy all the time. So she, neither one of them are single. They got joint custody and they share custody of their two kids. So it's a different situation. But, I really wouldn't care if you got a kid with behavioral problems that's seeing a therapist and stuff like that. I'm not equipped to be dealing with no batshit crazy kid. So we would have to get a divorce. You want her to live with you and your wife need to work that out. I'm out. I'm gone. And that's just it. I mean, love is love. I mean, that's great and all, but, my peace of mind is worth more to me than anything on this planet. And I would not deal with your crazy ass kid. I'm not going to have peace of mind in my own damn house. I'm out of here. Okay, question. Okay, what did I say that was? That was question 13. So this is 14. I need to keep track. I'm confusing myself. This is a young man, 28 to 34, out of Orange County, California. So I'm an issue. My wife wants to throw a birthday party for me. Hey, Auntie, this letter is probably not typical, but I'd like to discuss it anyways and hear your thoughts on how to deal with it. Like you, my birthday's coming up in August, and my wife wants to throw a party. But financially, that's something we just can't do at the moment. Between our child expenses, mortgage, bills, etc., every penny counts. We do have savings, but I don't think it's something I want to touch for that. She wants to invite her family from out of state, my family, friends, and people who never talk with me at least. I already told her I'd rather go out for dinner that night instead of hosting and spending money we don't have. She said that everything will be fine, But considering how expensive all the food and stuff is, we'd be spending hundreds of dollars for just a party. And it's not even a big birthday party because I turned 30 last year and 40 is 9 years away. How would you deal with this situation? I would flatly tell her, you throw a party if you want to, I'm not going to be here. That's how strongly I feel about it. You either cancel this shit or you be throwing a party for yourself and I won't be here because I'm not going to participate in this. We don't have the money. We're supposed to be a partners. We're supposed to be a team. I'm expressing to you how this is causing me anxiety, knowing how tight our budget is. We do have the budget for this a small celebration with just the two of us. That should be good enough. Like it's not even a big birthday. We could do something bigger. Maybe we'll have a big party for my 35th birthday or something like that. But not now. This is we can't do this now. This is causing me a lot of trouble. And I'm telling you, I'll disappear and you'll be embarrassed. So you figure it out which one you want to do. You think I wouldn't do that? I would be determined to get my way in a situation like this. Because, like I looked at the grocery. Okay, why did I go to the grocery store? I got this like 2 little bags of stuff and it was like 60 something dollars. And I don't even buy like, people be buying like instant foods and, packaged things and all this stuff. I cook. So I'm buying ingredients. Like I had to get some, I don't know, I got bell peppers. I got some couple of tomatoes, some onions, so, stuff like that. Then my daughter wanted the steaks. I got some little steak things that was on sale or something. And then, I don't know. I mean, just like basic shit, celery. Just stuff like that. Nothing fancy. It was 60 something dollars. I was like, oh, it's rough. So, you got mortgages and all this kind of stuff to pay and other bills. See, I don't really have that many bills. I guess I do now. I bought that damn car a couple of years ago. Before that, I didn't have a car payment, but I have one now. So that's what I would do if I were you. You in Orange County too, so you in California. I know the food is kicking your ass. Okay, question 14. So this is question 15. And this is 16. All right, here we go. Question number, oops, I'm knocking stuff over. Question 15. This young lady's 22 to 27 out of Detroit. The male's 28 to 34. So we have issue. Why does my boyfriend refuse to go to the grocery store unless I go with him? Usually I would not mind going to the store with him, but this year I have been busy with college and it is towards the end of the current classes for this semester. I'm absolutely swamped with work and he asked fully knowing that I told him I would be busy. He plays dumb and it annoys me. I asked him to go without me because we haven't gotten any groceries in months. He says no and that he would rather sleep. He will hang out with his friends or whatever, but cannot be bothered to go do chores without me. I don't understand this behavior at all. He would get in his car washed. He would get his car washed, get his haircut, or go to the bank. But he can't be bothered to go get the groceries. I've been ordering in food so that I don't have to reduce myself to eat whatever in the condo, which is peanut butter bread, ramen, and so on. I am trying to lose weight, so eating all of these carbs won't cut it. I need actual food that will not leave me hungry. I know he's eating at work, even though he won't admit it. There's no way he's starving himself and living off coffee only to eat one small meal once he's home. Well, then, why don't you do that? You don't mind going to the grocery store or something. So, you can pick up already made stuff there. They got like them rotisserie chickens or something, or you could just pick you up some ready made food and bring, eat it there and then come home. I'll figure out some kind of way where he wouldn't be getting shit. It wouldn't be shit to eat in that house. He would have to go to the grocery store or starve or call Instacart. You would be doing something. I don't know what to tell you. I don't understand. I don't even know what to tell you because I've never heard of anything like this. Even my daddy, as raggedy as he was about, doing household chores, if he wanted to eat a specific thing, he would go to the store and get it because he already knew my mother was going. And don't ask me, I'm not going either. My brothers be like, "Yeah, we got to go somewhere. We're busy. We playing basketball. We got a game. So he already knew. You want it, you go get it. Because he used to like weird stuff that none of us ate, like smoked oysters in the little cans. And then what else did he eat that we didn't like? Them pork crackling things. And he used to like these marshmallow pie things. And I mean, just weird stuff. And we just look at it now. I think I took like one bite of each thing one time, just, so I would know what it tasted like. And then I was like, ew, this is gross. Why do you want to eat that? But he loved to see me go buy his little stuff and walk in there with his little bag all proud. And we'd be like, oh, okay, do you? Okay, question 16. This is a young lady, 28 to 34 out of the UK. Summer issue. How do I have deeper conversations with my boyfriend without him having romantically deflect my questions? Yeah, my daddy was a trip, I'm telling you. Without him romantically deflecting my questions. I am 28 and I have an amazing boyfriend. He's 26. And we've been together for almost 3 years. He is so kind, affectionate, funny, talkative, and clever. But sometimes I want to have deep conversations, but those just don't seem to flow naturally. When I ask him, for example, what do you do when you are stressed? He says, I think of you and I feel better. And I say, well, what's your favorite memory of us? And he says, all of our moments together are my favorites. It always feels like he is defaulting is my love for you, how cute you are, how amazing you are. And those answers are really sweet, but when those seem to be the only answer he's given, it gets exhausting. Yeah, it's like he's putting up a smoke screen. He doesn't want you to get to know him on a deeper level. This is interesting. He's a bullshit artist. So that's number 16. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the number of questions because they're so different. Okay. This is weird. When we hang out with his friends and family, then I see more of his authentic side and answers. I want to know more of that side of him. And sometimes I do in some of our deepest conversations when I'm crying about life stresses, and he is so sweet during those moments. But I don't want to feel like I have to be an emotional wreck for him to open up. There are a few times where he does open up, and I cherish those, and I would like those moments more. Am I not giving him the same emotional support that he gives me? Maybe he is just generally not a deep conversation having person most of the time. Maybe the way I am asking him questions feels more like an interview than a natural conversation. I love him so much, and he is my first serious relationship, and I am his. So I want to see what I can be doing better or how to look at my situation better. Well, I mean, when a man goes to this much trouble to deflect your answers with some bullshit, pat, little mundane type of answer, there's not too much you can do with that. He might be all these things you say, kind, affectionate, funny, and talkative, but he does not want you to get to know him on a deeper level. He feels threatened in some way, insecure. It gives him anxiety. So he glosses over those deeper conversations with bullshit. Because it would be normal for a man to say, what do you do when you get stressed? Oh, I play video games or watch TV. Sometimes I go for a jog or something like that. I might go to the gym and work out. Okay, how hard is that? But he doesn't even say anything like that. He just tells you, oh, I think of you and I feel better. Are you asking what's your favorite memory of us? Everybody has a favorite memory. Remember that time when you told me that stupid dad joke and we were in bed and had been drinking and then we were laughing so hard we fell out the bed and hit our head on the side of the wall. That's my favorite memory. Something like that. But instead he says, all of our moments together are my favorite. See what I mean? He's not letting you know anything about him. He's putting up walls. That wouldn't be very emotionally satisfying for me. We'll see how long you can take it. Because at some point you have to realize that your relationship is very superficial. He knows you intimately, but you don't know him the same way. And he's doing that on purpose. Wow. Question 17. This is young lady 18 to 21 out of Canada. The young man's 22 to 27. Some issue. How do I tell my boyfriend that he is just terrible at nook? Ooh. I can't say that I would recommend that, but let's see what's been going on. Okay, so me and my boyfriend have been dating for about a year. Everything has been more so good. We communicate for the most part. We have stuff in common. Can be in one space, but do our own thing and not be all up in each other's ass. The thing is, he's really, really bad at nook. Okay, the first time felt nice, but since then, it just feels like a chore on my end. I am not into it at all. I can't finish. Heck, I feel like I can't even feel him when we do it. Oh boy. got a mini me. And for those who'd asked, yes, I'm attracted to him. I can get turned on just by looking at him, but he's so bad at nook that when he tries to ask or initiate, I immediately get turned off and I don't want to do it. I don't even know how to bring it up because he's had some pretty bad relationships before me and he's insecure about his size. For some context, he is ever so slightly below average. But size doesn't matter if you know how to use it. Yes, it does. So how do I bring this up to him? Will our relationship be the same? Nope. But I mean, you got to think of this. I mean, he might be a nice dude and all this old stuff here. But, as an adult, physical intimacy is part and parcel of the relationship, especially if you get married. And it has to be satisfying. It has to be satisfying. Yeah, they don't care because they thinking that, they getting theirs, get yours. So, why you would stay with someone who's bad at it and not even trying to improve, because, I mean, as an adult guy, he knows if you finish or not. He wasn't born yesterday. He knows what's up. He don't give a shit. So why you would stay with a man like that and let him just bounce all over you like that and just basically use your body for his good time and you don't get nothing out of it? Why would you stay with him? What is the point of that? When people be in business and they do stuff like that, they be in business, they get paid for it. You doing it for free. You think about that. Okay? You think about that. What you gonna do? Because I would be putting dude in the wind. Personally. This young man is 28 to 34 from Sandy Springs, Georgia. The female is 28 to 34 as well. So an issue. Am I being too soft regarding how my wife treated me last night? Hey, Deb, my wife is 28 and had some work friends over last night for karaoke night. Usually these types of things take a lot of prep and planning on my part and aren't cheap for us to host, as they're usually hosting up to 15 people. She works nights, so it's usually on me to get everything arranged and set up. The night started great. The food was going over well and everyone was having fun. It was getting late though, and people started to trickle out. So we switched to just talking in our family room with a few remaining friends. My wife clearly overserved herself. In the past, it has been a problem that we discussed because it typically ends in her embarrassing herself, getting sick or being mean to me, including calling me out in front of others for things she views as slights against her. Last night, it ranged from her calling me names, namely pendejo. Isn't that okay? I mean, I think I remember what that means in Spanish. And then loudly complaining about how I proposed to her in front of a few of her friends. It ended with her bringing up my dating past before her. Admittedly, I was a bit promiscuous in high school. I didn't want to make it awkward. I just kind of took it and said nothing. I was exhausted after everyone had left, so I went right to bed. Waking up this morning, I really started to think about it some more. I'm really not sure if I'm being overly dramatic and this is just playful ribbing or if this is an actual issue. What really got me thinking about this is just how positive and supportive the other two couples were towards each other while being in a similar drunken state. I've tried to maintain distance today. She's been sleeping, and I don't really want to be around her right now. To make things worse, I had bought us tickets to an event tonight, but have genuinely lost all motivation to go. I'm tempted to listen for sale to see if I can at least recoup what I spent. Am I being dramatic over this whole thing, or should I be verbally kicking somebody's ass? I would be verbally kicking somebody's ass because, first of all, I know you didn't want to make a scene in front of her coworkers and your friends and stuff like that, but I would have had to drag her ass off to the side and say, you need to shut your goddamn mouth. Because one thing you're not going to do is sit here and call me a B and disrespect me in my own fucking house. You're not going to do that. So you do one more thing and I'm going to throw all these motherfuckers up out of here. And you're not going to host no more karaoke parties or nothing else because you don't know how to conduct yourself. You get some firewater and you lose your goddamn mind. That's what I would tell her. Then I'll go back out there and tell everybody, oh, the party's over. Everyone, please go home. Because so-and-so here has had too much to drink and she's not acting right. And then I'll send everybody home. You think I'm kidding? But she would have to get the ride at first so she understand why everybody's being sent home. Now, what chances are she's in her drunken state, she's going to come out and want to fight you about, no, you don't have to leave. And you're going to say, yes, you do. And everybody would get up and leave because they know that you're not drunk. And she is. Now, when somebody is a partner who does this kind of stuff and talks to you like this, how do you deal with that? Now, a lot of people are like, well, they should get counseling. She was drunk. You shouldn't pay too much attention to it. I'm going to tell you something about alcohol. Alcohol is not a magic serum as it magically makes things come into your head. What alcohol does is release your inhibitions. So the shit that you wanted to do and the shit that you wanted to say, you feel, it frees your restraints so that now you do it and now you say it. That's what alcohol does. So the things that she said to you expresses her true feelings, her true thoughts. A wife who loved her husband and respected him would never call him that name ever. It wouldn't even be anything that she would think to call him. But she did it. So you need to rethink your marriage. That's what I'm telling you. I mean, it's nice that you love her and y'all been together and all this kind of stuff, but this is verbal abuse. It's verbal and emotional abuse because you see how you feel after hearing it and being talked to like that. This is not healthy. Now, would you want to, end the relationship over one episode? Since you guys are married, probably not. But if I were dating a dude or, if I was a dude and dating a girl and she did that and we were just dating, that shit would be over on the spot. Be like, let me find some place to move so I can get the fuck up out of here. And that would be that. Because I know at the age that I am now, if somebody says those kind of things to you and they try to use liquor, drunkenness as an excuse, that's bullshit. That's what they thought. That's what they felt. They finally feel clear enough to say it. And that's why I would be like, I'd be done with her. So you think about that. You felt bad enough that you want to sell the tickets. I hope you did. I know I originally was supposed to do these questions last week, so you would have had to answer in time for the show, but I didn't get to it. We had too many questions. It was too far back from the end of the column. This is unfortunate. I'd never call. I mean, I would call my husband a bum. So when he didn't do his chores, be sitting there watching TV. I said, get your bum ass up and do what you're supposed to be doing. That was about the worst thing I ever called him. I would never think to call him like a profane word. He never would call me that either. We just don't talk to each other like that. It's not how you talk to somebody you care about. You're going to lose, lazy. You being a lazy bum right now. I might, little stuff like that. But I would never think of something that was like profanity to call him or talk to him like that. That's just not right. Question. Oh, shit. What was this question number? 18. So this is number 19. Young lady, 28 to 34 from Shreveport, Louisiana. Some issue. I had a sort of ex from over 6 years ago contact me out of the blue, but he's married. I think I want to tell his wife, you're not going to do that. We briefly dated in the late 2010s after a short period of friendship. It ended badly. He was unable to move past the romantic aspect of our relationship and became increasingly manipulative in his attempts to re-engage me romantically. It got bad enough that I had to block him across all platforms. Fast forward to a few weeks ago. We're in our early 30s now. I received a message via Pinterest. He wrote casually that I popped into his head that he hoped we could be pals again. On the surface, the message was warm and nostalgic, but the reality is that he is blocked on email, Facebook, and everywhere else, meaning he deliberately sought me out across different platforms until he found one that worked. Definitely not as casual as he is trying to portray it. Before responding, I did a little digging and discovered that he's now married. So I replied cautiously. I said it was a surprise to hear from him, that I wasn't looking to reopen anything given our history, and that his being in a relationship made the whole thing feel quite odd. I wished him well. So you did too much. These are his replies sent across a few weeks. Okay, we don't need to know all that. Oh, okay. Cautious is pretty understandable. I know there's a lot of hurt on both sides. back then. I know that many people can be or try to be quite manipulative when they claim to reach out in friendship. I messaged you here because it's the only place I could. The fact that you still pop in my mind from time to time tells me that I think we could still be friends. I'm not looking for anything other than that. I'm now a happily married man. So that was the first message. The second message since shortly after that, Pinterest blocked my message because I put in a phone number. Anyway, what I said was I genuinely only want friendship. I want your friendship because I really think you are a genuine person. This is so rare. Okay, then he put her name in there. If you have interest in a genuine friendship, that make my day. If not, no worries. And I truly wish you all the happiness in the world. Okay, the next message, unprompted follow-up, despite saying I wouldn't hear from him again, yada, yada. One last thing, I reached out because I had the strangest sensation you were in pain. A tough spot, maybe. Oh, this guy's good. A tough spot, maybe. I'd like to help and support where I can. Maybe what's best for you is to shut out unknowns in your life. And I understand that I've lost quite a few friends over the last months, hence my wish to rekindle old ones. It'd be really nice to hear from you, but if not, don't worry. You don't have to block me from yet another platform with a warm smile. She says, I'm not even gonna bother sharing with you all the ways these messages are so incredibly inaccurate and manipulative, loving his tarot/horoscope-esque attempt at drawing me in with false empathy. But you may be able to recognize it even without knowing the historic context. Yeah, girl, please, I've been around way too long for this. To me, this follows a super familiar pattern, the same mix of flattery, made up vulnerability, and subtle guilt tripping I saw the first time around. I'm going to block him again regardless. My questions for you are, if I choose to respond before blocking, is there anything actually worth saying or confronting? Nope. And secondly, his wife appears to be on Facebook. I'm torn on whether to reach out to her. I don't want to blow up anyone's marriage, but I also can't shake the feeling that she deserves to know that her husband is tracking down blocked exes across social media. I want to know in her position. I hate the idea of this man being my husband and doing those things, but it's not your business, though, what their marriage is and what she does. Stay out of it. You just want to be a busybody, messy. It was already messy enough that he reached out to you, but you had the gall to respond. All you had to do was block him on Pinterest and go on with your life. But no, that's not what you did. You want to respond to him because she's stupid. What other reason would there be? Women who always want to tell the wife or the girlfriend, just slap yourself. Please slap yourself so maybe you can come to your senses. That woman don't give a shit about you. And whatever she got with that man, she's not going to give it up because you call yourself tattletaling like a 4-year-old. Shut up. That's so undignified. And she'll start laughing in your face saying, bitch, I already know what he's doing. I don't care. He's paying all my bills. I got credit card galore. I got a nice 6-bedroom house. And she going to rattle off all the stuff that this man done for her and bought for her. And you going to sit there looking stupid because you thought you was going to cause a problem by tattletaling. And all you did was get your face slapped and your feelings hurt and laughed at. That's why you don't never go confront the wife or the girlfriend. You don't know what the situation is that you put. And then they might be crazy and decide they're going to come after you because they see you as a threat. And then go the next thing you know, you're going to be on a body bag somewhere on, 48 hours trying to figure what the hell happened because you communicated some shit you didn't have no business doing. Stay in your envelope. Okay, you blocked him. Just go back into the little hole where you was and stay there. I mean, he don't want no friendship. He just want to try to work his way back into her bedroom. And that's what they always be talking about. Let's be friends. Nigga, fuck you. I'm not trying to be your goddamn friend. We wasn't friends before. We definitely ain't friends now. So we not doing that. Don't you lose my number, lose my Pinterest ID, lose everything. I'm about to block you here too. Don't you die or something. I mean, really. Let me see what number is this. I keep losing track of my numbers. Trying to make it be like a regular column with all these long ass numbers. Okay, so this is question number 20. Oh, all right. This young lady's 22 to 27 from Las Vegas. So issue, I don't get it. Why can't men just be honest when they're not interested? I don't understand men these days. I went out with this guy tonight that was just begging for me to hang out with him. We had never met before, and I met up with him at the place. We had a nice conversation, got to know each other a little. He even offered to give me a ride home. Of course he did, but I hope you said no. We were really ready to leave, and he mentioned he needed to use the restroom, and I said I would go too, and then we would leave. Well, he ended up either leaving while I was there, which wasn't long, or he stayed in there till I figured it out. I gave it a few minutes before I decided to just take off. I checked to see if he had blocked me, and it turned out that he did. I always wonder, is it my looks, my body? I mean, he was shorter than I thought, and I didn't really think too much of it. Is it my personality? Is it too much? I didn't think I was acting weird or anything. Maybe I'm too healed in this world where people want toxic, unhealed women. This makes me nervous about going on future dates. I don't want to keep hurting my own feelings by questioning why people do this. I just feel like giving up on trying anymore. The bottom, he didn't want to drive you home. He just said that just for something to do. And what you were supposed to say is, "Oh no, thank you. I'll get home the same way I got here." That's what you're supposed to do, so that he could just make a big fawn of, "Oh, it was really nice and blah blah blah," blah, and then get in his car and drive the fuck off. That's what he wanted. But you messed up the game. So you got to go with Plan B because you wanted to ride like an idiot. Some dude that you just met, you gonna let him know where you live and let him be out your house and then want to. So then he could have just waited till he got to your house and like, "Oh, can I come in and use the bathroom?" And the next thing you know, you would be a statistic because you dumb. You don't let men just randos know where you live like that. What's wrong with you? You can't afford an Uber or a taxi or something to get your ass back home, then you don't go on no dates. That's the bottom line there. You can't afford your own car to get there or borrow one from somebody or something, then you don't need to go. You're gonna be dependent on the random that you met online to drive you home. You know, a whole bunch of people don't get home. They don't make it home. Don't ever do that again. I'm glad he had enough sense to leave your ass in the restaurant because you just goofy. Okay, this is question 21. This young lady's 28 to 34 from Allentown, Pennsylvania. The male's 35 to 42. Some of issue. This is not my question, but I saw it online. I know what you think about this situation. Quote, "My boyfriend put something in our daughter's bottle." Wait, what? The poster wrote, "I am 30 and my boyfriend is 35 and we have a 5-month-old baby girl. The other day I found my boyfriend feeding her a bottle. This in itself wasn't unusual. He makes bottles for her on a regular basis. But I had just woken up from a nap and I desperately needed it. I checked to see how much she had drunk. I saw a chunk of something in it and asked what it was. I thought maybe it was some formula that needed to be mixed in more. Nope. He said it was steak. Not even a fully cooked steak, a medium rare steak. Woo, you have an idiot. Not even a okay. He said the fat from the steak was beneficial to her growth and development. I freaked out. I grabbed the bottle and dumped it down the sink while yelling at him and asking him what the hell he was thinking. He said that it was fine and that was good for her. I had no words. I had to leave for work soon, so I just told him to go. That was about 24 hours ago, and I haven't spoken to him since. Do you think I overreacted? Would it really have hurt her? I'm going to say this. You know, there are certain temperatures that you're supposed to cook food to kill bacterias and, you know, pest parasites and things like that. Now, you say medium rare. I don't know what your version of medium rare is. You know, is it more on a rare? Is it more on a medium? It doesn't really matter. A 5-month-old baby does not need to have any kind of animal proteins whatsoever, whether they be from the fat or whether they be from the meat itself. They don't need to eat that. What I would do if I were you, I would tell the pediatrician what happened and find out if they think this, is a solid, sane thing to do or what potential risks there are. The one that I can think of is if the piece is too small, it's going to suck through the thing and it's going to get lodged in the baby's throat and the baby's going to choke to death. As the mother, that's where my mind immediately went. I know. These men are just so stupid. I mean, why would you even think some shit like that? Why would you think a baby with no teeth needs to have anything that needs to be chewed in a bottle. What? She better than me because I'd be like moving out and putting some papers on him to say he's unfit parent. He can't have no kind of visitation. He's necessarily supervised because he can't be trusted alone with the child that killed the baby. That's what I would do because there would be no way in this world you ain't touching her. You ain't changing no bottle. You ain't changing her diaper. You're not going to do shit. You're going to stand over there on the other side of the room and look at her. That's all you get to do. As you know, if the thing sucked through the bottle and blocked the baby's windpipe, then because they're little. I mean, they're babies. Their little windpipes are like smaller, probably like more like this size. So a chunk of meat could very conceivably, block her from being able to breathe. And then, yes, the biological father. And would he know how to do infant CPR? Would he know how to, turn the baby upside down and do the chop, chop, chop to, get it out? And it still might be lodged in there, might not come out. Then the baby dies right there. So as a mom, thinking I was thinking about my daughter when she was 5 months old, she was so cute. But there's no way in this world. She was getting fruit and, little baby cereal, rice cereal or something. That's all she got that was a solid. She was still nursing at that age. So I don't know what your man is thinking. Your man is a risk to your child. You better think of something to get some kind of papers on his dumb ass before he has your baby pushing up daisies. Yeah. Well, not just the stepfather, the boyfriends too. Mother's boyfriends. They like neck and neck for assault, battery, and murder. And the children, the age of the children that are most oft are 2-year-olds. 2-year-olds are, for some reason, large amounts of kids never make it to 3 when it's a stepfather or the baby's the boyfriend. And it's not his kid, but sometimes it is, but it's usually, a kid that she had with someone else. And at 2. They just don't seem to, 2-year-olds can be difficult. They can be very challenging because they like to say no a lot. They start to get their own little personalities. They don't go along with everything and they move it around. So you tell them to sit down and they don't want to sit down. You tell them be quiet. Oh no, they gonna holler louder because that's what they do. So it can be challenging for someone who's used to having somebody do what they tell them to do. For that person to have to deal with a 2-year-old, it's like fire and water. That is not going to work. Because 2-year-olds don't do what they want to do. I mean, they don't do what you want them to do. They barely even do what they want to do. Because a lot of times they'll tell you no while they're reaching for the object in your hand. Right? They're reaching for it. They're reaching for it. So that means yes, because they're reaching for it, right? But their words are saying no. So, yeah, they can be a challenge. Question 22. This young lady is 35 to 42 from Arlington, Virginia, males 20 to 34. Summary of issue. Oh, I'm so disappointed. I'm 35 and I had a date with a guy who was 30. We both have kids and shared custody. We met at a bar close to my place. As I joined him at the table, he complimented my appearance. The date went well. Easygoing conversation, pretty good vibe. I usually never do this, but since I felt safe and he seemed to want to pursue the date, I invited him to my place to have one last drink. I knew it would lead to nook probably, which I was okay with. Okay, you was being bodacious. Beforehand, he even told me that he would be interested in seeing me again. Of course he was going to say that, so you get some nookie. I'm not looking for a specific type of relationship, so I'm open to a one-night stand if the vibe is right. I haven't met anyone interesting enough to have physical contact with, though, in a few months. So I was eager to finally get some action. We chatted, and as I was expecting, we ended up having nooks. It was good, not awkward, at least on my part. I consider myself pretty self-aware, so I feel I would have had signs if he wasn't into it. He left a little bit after, as it was pretty late. He had to get his kid the next morning. He texted me when he got home. The next day I asked him how was his morning going, and he said he was tired, but otherwise good. That was it. I was taken aback that he didn't try to maintain the conversation, but hey, we don't owe each other anything. Anyway, the next day, out of curiosity, I checked his Insta profile and noticed that he had unfollowed me. He also deleted me from another swipey thing. Again, he's a free man, but I thought it was a bit disrespectful without even one word like, hey, I changed my mind. I don't feel up to anything right now. Or, hey, it was fun, but I don't want to pursue this. This never happened to me on impulse. I just messaged him. It's pretty low to delete me from everything without even one word. It says a lot about the type of person you are. And he just answered, yeah, I deleted the app without addressing anything. So I blocked him. I know it's part of the online dating, but as adults, I expected something more mature. The main issue is that my ego is pretty bruised right now, and I'm sad to admit that it did affect my self esteem a little bit. Was I wrong for expecting basic decency in that situation? Well, see, your idea of decency and his idea of decency is obviously two different things. And you looking for somebody to act like, they want something going on and committed to you. And although you said you was happy with you'd be okay with a one night stand, that really doesn't seem to be the case, right? Because otherwise you wouldn't have wrote this letter complaining about dude who only gave you a one night stand. You'd be like, yeah, well, I'm not talking to that motherfucker no more, but at least I got me some good D. That would be how you would approach this. But instead you're whining about the fact that he didn't really call you and he didn't tell you and that you're all in your feelings about it. So your mouth said one thing, but your letter reveals that you had a secret agenda. And see, this is the problem with a lot of you women. You want to talk that good game like you all the new woman of the millennials and all this kind of stuff, but you ain't really. You had expectations. You felt like if I lay down and sleep with him and it's good, we gonna get up and something gonna jump off. That's what you was hoping, but that's not what happened. I know these tricks, girlfriend. Come on now, for real. You really thought that you were gonna get away with that. Question 23. This is a female 35 to 42 from Aurora, Illinois. Summary of issue. Uncertain feelings after reuniting with an old flame. I'm trying to navigate feelings I have after reuniting with an ex. He's now 36 and I'm now 39. Yes, thank you, Shay. I guess so, Ting. But I think she don't really understand that that's what happened. That's why I had to break it down for her. Okay, he's 36, she's 39. She met in college. They left me for another woman and he eventually married her. Oh. It's not quite jealousy, not quite inadequacy. It's just a feeling I can't really name. It's both of those and you trying to deny it. After 11 years, I was going through a breakup and him a rough spot in his marriage simultaneously. I did not realize the extent of his feelings towards me and I always felt my longing for him was actually kind of one-sided. Turns out it was not, and there were a lot of misunderstandings that led to him choosing her over me at that time in his life. We slowly reconnected and rekindled things after he eventually divorced. We have been together for almost a year. While things are great between us now, and I know he loves me, I can't shake the feeling of how his ex got to experience all of these firsts. Getting married, having a child, etc. Also just seeing pictures of them from the past when they would look so happy. I can't help but feel like an interloper in his life sometimes. He did ultimately leave her for me after many years, so I also feel like I'm playing a role in what feels like a life I don't belong in, like I'm an outsider to his family and friends. I also feel like I constantly need to differentiate myself from his ex-wife. Even though we are kind of similar, I just keep having these feeling of not wanting to be an imposter of her. I don't know if this is silly. I know I should focus on the positive aspects of our relationship and things that are otherwise great. We talk all the time about how we never should have ended things when we did, but also that time has made us both wiser and better suited for one another. I am truly and blissfully happy otherwise. Okay, so you looking for something to be wrong. Well, you know what would bother me is I was dating him. He left me to go to her. Now he left her to come back to me. I wouldn't, no. We don't play in ping pong relationship here, brother. Bap, 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 bap. No. You went over there, stay over there. You don't have to stay over there, but you ain't coming back over here. Now that's all I know. You get one time for this, one ticket for this ride, and you blew it. So You better than me. But see, this is why I never go back. All this angst you having, oh, is it this? Is it that? My feelings, it could be this. I feel this like an interloper. You having all this anxiety and angst about some clown that you could have just left alone because there's 5 million of them or 5 million other ones out there. They all crazy. You just pick a different crazy. I mean, it's not like he's special. I don't understand what you're doing to yourself. You act like he's the only man in the world, so you just got to take him back. I mean, this is so disappointing. I'm just really disappointed in you. I know you went to college and all this stuff, but girl, what happened to your common sense? It seemed to have just gone out the window. Ooh, let's move on. Question 24. This young man, 18 to 21, from Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Oh, I wonder where that is. So, issue, me and my girlfriend together just over years started, we were sharing a family towel. Wait a minute. Am I the odd one out for feeling uncomfortable that when I'm around at my Mrs. house, oh, he calls his girlfriend his Mrs. in the 18 to 21 age group, boy, you need to quit. She insists I use the one and only towel in the bathroom after a shower, the same towel that both her parents and the two brothers use. It smells damp, although she says it's fine because it gets washed once a week. Okay, wait. All them different people using that same towel every day for a week. When she is around mine, I give her her own fresh towel to use, which I thought was the norm. So I gotta ask, is it weird to feel uncomfortable that I have to share the same towel that everyone in my partner's house uses after shower? You don't have to share it, you just do. Because what you could do is roll up in there with your own towel. Put your name on it, Marco, James, Julio, Robert, whatever your name is, have it embroidered on your towel and put your towel in the bathroom when you be over there. And when you wash your hands, you use your towel. When you take a shower, you use your towel. And when you wash your face, you use your towel. That's what you do. Then when you leave, you take your towels with you. And then you wash them and you bring them back when you go back over there. Now, would I ever? Yeah, I would. That's why we call this column "What the Fuck," because people are always coming up with some weird shit that you just never heard of. I mean, can you imagine? Like they only could afford one towel for everybody? What kind of shades of deliverance shit is this? Some dueling banjos playing. Mm-mm. That's just a little bit too much closeness for me, especially the same towel for a week. When does it ever get a chance to get dry with all them different people using it? That thing is just a field nest of bacteria oh God, I'm just and mold and mildew. Mm-mm. Nope, I'm good. I'm gonna bring my own. Even if I had to go to one of them, like shop towel places where the towels are disposable, I would get something like that then if I'm not gonna be bringing my own. But I'm not using yours. Yes. Well, you know what? When I was living that lifestyle teen TV, I had what I call my whole bag in the trunk. It had extra pair of underpants, extra bra, pajamas, some little pajama short pants thing, and clothes, change of clothes, something simple, nothing fancy. Towels, deodorant, you know, moisture, whatever I needed, I kept in the trunk of my car. Small sizes of stuff. Cause I'm gonna be there for a good time. I'm not there for a long time. I'm there for a good time. But I want all my shit. My special soap and everything. Cause I have sensitive skin, so I use goat milk soap. But yeah, I used to call it my whole bag. One of my brothers saw it one time. He's like, "What is this? Where are you going?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm not going nowhere." "Well, what you got all this stuff in your car for?" I said, "Because I might go somewhere." And then he did me the side eye, like he was like figuring it out. Then he was like, "Oh," I'm like, "Yeah, don't be asking questions. You don't need to know that. It's outside your age group." It's my younger brother. It's outside your age group. Yes, girl. Ooh, ooh. I'm trying to tell you, but you ain't gonna be living that life, Mrs. Shay, Mrs. Shay. You know, I got to hear this story. I need all the tea. I need all the tea. Who is this man? Who is this lad? Okay, question number 25. This young lady's 18 to 21 from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Summary of issue. I think I'm losing feelings for my boyfriend because of one thing that he said to me. I am 20 and I've been with my boyfriend who's 21 for 7 months. The relationship has been amazing and I think he's such a perfect partner. But there's one issue. I'm slightly overweight. I wear a size 40 to 42 in the EU sizes, which is 8 to 10 US sizes. And he is slim, but not necessarily fit. He doesn't go to the gym. The comments started around, okay, how are you slightly overweight and you wear an 8 to 10? What are you like 4'10" or something? What is the comment started around 3 months into us dating. He asked me to start doing some kind of sport. I agreed, but then I didn't go because of my very time-consuming school schedule. But I started to eat less. He then felt a little sad that I won't eat junk food with him, etc. So I then stopped dieting. He hasn't really said anything related to my weight, except sometimes he grabbed my tummy and gave me a weird smirk. Now, 2 weeks ago, we had a small disagreement, and he flat out said that he doesn't like my body. I was shocked and spent the last few days crying almost every night. I told him how I feel, and he feels very apologetic and puts more effort into our relationship. I'm back on my diet, and every time I mention something about it, he feels guilty. I don't know how to feel. I've been distancing myself from him, and he notices. Is there anything I can do except working out and dieting? Of course, yeah, you can dump his ass. Why would you think that you have to accept being talked to like this? When somebody flatly tells you to your face, I don't like your body, there's no comeback from that. He can't undo that. He can't fix that. That was a definitive statement. That was not a question. It was not, oh, I think it's not like a little opinion, like, oh, you could probably stand to lose a few pounds. It wasn't that. It was a flat out statement of fact. I don't like your body. So there's nowhere for him to go from there, girlfriend. You tripping. Yeah. Well, see, I don't know, but 8 to 10. I mean, that's not a big size. So I don't know what she done. Oh, so you was the one I was talking to um about the products that I get from the Netherlands, and I couldn't remember the name of it. And I remember I set this bottle here so I could remember. It's called H&H. H&H, that's the brand. This girl, she's in the Netherlands. I lost the top to this. But this hair oil, it's hair and skin oil. I love this stuff. This is like the best ever. So yeah, I order my stuff from there and I have not had a complaint yet. So I don't know what to say about, how you gonna work your way around and stay in this relationship. There would be no way that I could do that. Someone disrespects you to that extent and he's okay with it, you know. Certain things, people just should never say to you. And this is one of them. So you think about that. I think I'll do one more question. So it'll be like question number 26. And then it looks like it's about 5 or 6 more. I'll just add them to the next column. Candace I think it was 85 questions altogether, 86 questions. It was a lot. No way I was on doing them even in 3 days. So this young lady's 18 to 21 from the UK. The male's 22 to 27. Summary of issue. My friend is overly close with my boyfriend. Oh. Both me and my boyfriend are uncomfortable about this situation because my friend is reportedly, quote, gay. Yet she treats him like a boyfriend, not a friend. She said things like, oh, I love him so much. And if you don't date him, I will. And both of us are highly uncomfortable. My boyfriend told me to set boundaries, which I did. Keep in mind, she only does this with me and him and not any of her other friends, which makes it a lot worse. I fully trust my boyfriend, but I honestly don't trust her. She calls him her best friend, and he feels highly uncomfortable, especially because she always trauma dumps to him. She also constantly asks him to give her rides on his motorcycle, even though both of us have already told her no, yet she keeps asking. I don't know what to do. You turn into an adult. You and him sit her down and you read her the riot act and say, okay, this is how it was going with me. Okay. So she treats him like a worker. So she says, like, I love him so much. And I would tell her, I want you to stop saying that. You don't love somebody else's boyfriend. That's my job. Okay. He's my man, not yours. And you don't say any words that could confuse other people about the status of our relationship or your involvement with him. Do I make myself clear? Okay. So then, you both uncomfortable, but you haven't said anything. And then, you don't, okay. She calls him her best friend. He needs to say, I'm not your best friend. You're her friend. I only know you through her. You're not nothing to me. Real clear. So you guys aren't doing that. And then she asked him to give her rides. She said, you're never going to get on my motorcycle. I wouldn't care what you do. You're not going to be on the back of my motorcycle hugging me and acting like you my woman. Fuck out of here. Stop asking me. And that's when you're supposed to say, and if you ask him again, this relationship is over. Our friendship is over. Because I'm telling you right now, this shit is disrespectful. You don't be trying to wrap your arms and put your crotch up against my boyfriend like that. That's my role. That's not yours. And, you have to say, when you're dealing with people like that who think they're slick, you have to be, I hate to say it, like blunt, kind of vulgar. You have to be like no holds barred. And you just say it because that's just exact what's going on when you ride on the back of somebody's motorcycle. Right? You all hugged up, and especially if it's your dude, you like all over him, you close as you can get. And so that's what she's trying to do. She just wants to feel on him on the slide using the riding on the motorcycle as an excuse. So you need to find your womanhood and buck up here and tell her off. And they said, you got one more time to say some inappropriate shit, and this relationship is over. I'm sick of you and your shit. I'm sick of your mouth, sick of your insinuations, and I'm not taking it anymore. Don't you call my boyfriend. Don't you dump no shit on him. He's not your punching bag. He's not your therapist. You got friends to listen to that. If you're not, you better go pay a therapist to listen to your problem, because ain't nobody in this household trying to be bothered with you like that. So, I don't know, you guys, you young girls just kill me with this. You just take all the stuff. You don't never speak up for yourself. You don't put up no boundaries. You don't put a bitch in check. There's no way she should have been able to get with this, get over with. To do this, to get with this stuff for more than one time. That one time you're supposed to check her and say, oh, let's see, I'm going to show you my tribe now, my checker whole tribe. And this is, you about to catch a piece. And then you just blast her. But no, this would have never gone down if this was one of my friends. I'm like, hey, what you say to my man? And I'm not even jealous. So, it would have been like just some shit. But one thing I am is a great person with boundaries about what you will and will not do because of the respect thing. So to me, this is disrespectful. She's disrespecting you. And that's what this is. That she's trying to prove to you that even though she's supposed to be gay, that she can get more attention from your man, or she can get attention from your man anytime she wants it. So in this trauma dumping thing that you call it, that is an attempt to build an emotional connection with him. All right, so he feels sorry for her, and he can feel close to her because she's telling him all these personal, intimate things about herself. Like he knows her so well and all this kind of stuff. That's why she's doing that. She's trying to get close to him emotionally, so he would feel, like he want to take care of her and worry about her and stuff. So it's part of a game. She's extremely manipulative. I don't understand why you don't see that and why you've been letting her get away with this. But you better put that bitch in check. She ain't nothing nice. I don't really think she's your friend at all. I would be real, real cautious with this chick. She wouldn't be able to come around my house and my relationship. I had one friend like that. She let me be around her husband and stuff because she knew he was not nothing I would be interested in. But even if I did think he was handsome, which I did not, I still would have respected her because that's my girl. I've never done anything like that. That's outside of my moral boundaries try to mess with somebody else's boyfriend or husband. I'm not about that life. That's not me. I could just say, he's very handsome. You picked a good girl, get it, and I would mean that. But does that mean I want him? Hell no. My husband was fine as hell. And every guy I've ever dated has been extremely handsome. And money and nice build and all of that. I don't date no chunky monkeys or funny looking men. I just don't do that. So, I always had a nice looking partner. But does that mean that I don't want you to have one and I want to have yours? No. I can congratulate you all day and half the night into next month. But that's one thing I just would never ever do. I just don't understand women who want to do stuff like that. They get jealous, I guess. I don't know. You deleted your own comment? Oh, yeah, of course I see the pattern. Sometimes though, I be thinking stuff and then I move on to the next letter too fast and I don't say everything. And then sometimes you notice I'll go back. I'm like already on the other letter. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, but I'm trying to, get better about that. But yeah, this is a very dangerous situation for your relationship. And you so young, you don't really see the game. But part of what I do here is try to educate you young ladies in the games that bitches play, as well as the ones that, these rogue ass men play. So, the games aren't going to just come from the men that you're dating. There's going to be a lot of it, but they also going to come from females that you think you can trust. You think they're your friend. You think, oh, that's my sister. I mean, like, blood sister, or that's my cousin, or that's my, neighbor. We grew up together, all this kind of shit. I don't care about that. If you notice some kind of rogue behavior from her, she looking too much at your dude. She'd find excuse to always be at your house when your dude come over. She be dressing all low cut and find a reason to be bending over and fawning over him and laughing too loud at his jokes. Or, she got to have some excuse to touch on him. All these kind of things are violations. And they're setting the stage to violate your boundaries. So there's an escalation. It always starts with something small. So you want to ask, oh, well, where do you work? You don't need to know where my boyfriend works, bitch. Fuck out of here. So you shut that shit down immediately. And she'll be like, oh, but you know what? She'll know now. She knows what's going on. And so she's not the one. And you gotta tell your boyfriends too. Don't be talking to my friends. You talk to your friends. Okay. And many of my friends reach out to try to talk to you. You hang up the phone or you tell them you need to talk to whatever the girl's name is. Don't ask me no questions. Click. So, it has to be a united front because otherwise they'll think they can slide in through the back door and that dude is down with it. And if you have a dude that is down with it, then you already know that ain't your dude. He's just a clown. And you get rid of him before you get pregnant or get some dreadful disease from his ass. Yeah, this is like, you said that to me? Yeah, girl, I'm terrible. I'm trying to get better, but I've been eating more blueberries. It's supposed to help with your memory. Because I'd be like, oh, I keep forgetting stuff. It's like, oh no, am I getting Alzheimer's? Is this early dementia? Or maybe I'm just stressed and, it's poor nutrition, the dehydration or something. So anyway, I'm starting to I'm gonna eat blueberries every day for 2 weeks and see if my memory is better. See if that helps. It's supposed to help. I don't know. But yes. Oh yeah, it's right here. Yeah, and that's where this comes from, the Netherlands. See, I'm giving her some plug. I'm giving her a plug, but not everybody gonna want to pay them tariffs and all that stuff from getting overseas. I mean, it's the price of everything is just high. But I really like it and I don't waste product. And I'm the only one to use it. My daughter wanted to use it. I said, hell no, get your own. Yeah, go and look it up. It's H&H and read on the website. It's a sister that owns it. She's a chemist. And she did biology, something. She developed all the products herself. And it always is sold out. So, I mean, a lot of people use it. But I really like her stuff. Really good stuff. And it's natural. And, so I don't like to use a whole bunch of chemicals on my skin or hair because I'm sensitive. Everything breaks me out. I get a rash, start itching, all kind of stuff be going on. So I try not to use a bunch of commercial stuff. Yes. I'm telling you, I eat blueberries every day for 2 weeks. I'm already on my third day, day 3. And I'm going to go to the farmer's market tomorrow and buy some more. And then I'll buy some and put them in my freezer. And then I'm going to just eat blueberries every day for 2 weeks to see if it makes a difference. But I'll let y'all know. I'll keep you posted. I'm glad you guys came and spend Friday night with me. You guys like my new microphone? The sound sounds really good, huh? Real clear. I don't have to have things on my head. And I got the microphone again. I never did remember who I gave my blue microphone to. I loaned it to somebody for an event or something, and I never did get my thing back. That thing was $200. So I was mad. But so I don't know, I bought myself a new one. This one's better anyway. All right. So let's see here. I'm supposed to play my outro, huh? But I guess that's it. Huh? That's it. That's it. That's all. If you got a letter you want to send in, be sure to scan that QR code that's up there, or you go on the bottom of the screen. You see it says debsterism.com. Just go to that website and click the Get Advice page, and then you'll be able to submit your question. And then to our lovely Shay, our girl got married, so we want to send out big congratulations and much love and wishes for a happy, joyous marriage to you. We all love you. We missed you when you was gone on your little romantic foray, but glad to see you today. And be sure to send me a link to your wedding registry, and I will hop right on that so I can get you a little gift of appreciation. Okay. So you guys love. See you guys soon.